Welcome to the I Do in the Caribbean Facebook group. Today is February 14th. It's a Valentine's Day. And I just want to wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully, you get to spend some quality time with your significant other. Today is actually a special day for me. Today is actually my anniversary, also. I've been married. We got married 32 years ago on Valentine's Day. So we're celebrating our 32nd wedding anniversary as well as Valentine's Day. So today is always a special day for me. And and it brings back really great memories for me of my wedding in Jamaica in 2015. So I thought it would be the best thing to talk about is talk about we're getting married at Sandals, since that's where I got married in 2015. I did a vow renewal for my 25th wedding anniversary on Valentine's Day. So I was quite lucky that Valentine's Day in 2015 happened to be on a Saturday. So it was just a really beautiful day. I had about 80 plus family members and friends attend my wedding at Sandals Royal Caribbean in Jamaica. Being from Jamaica, that was the only place that I thought would be the perfect location to have my destination wedding. So for me, getting married at Sandals was the highlight of my wedding. I think the staff there really took good care of me and also my guests. They made us feel welcome. They went above and beyond to make my wedding very special. And people call me today because today's my anniversary and still talk about the wedding and how much they enjoyed themselves at the resort. So I just wanted to give you a little overview of Sandals and Sandals or beaches. So Sandals have two type of resort. Sandals would be for adult only, 18 and above, and Beaches Resort is their family resort. So if you're going to have kids at your resort, I would say pick a Beaches Resort. If it's adult only wedding, then Sandals will be a good choice for you. But I always, I've been to a lot of the Sandals Resort, and the funny story is that I didn't pick Sandals as my first choice for my wedding. Since I was doing it in Jamaica, I wanted to be special. I wanted something different. I wanted to do a takeover of a resort, and I found one in Negril in Jamaica. It had about 25 rooms, which would have been perfect. So like 50 people would have been at the resort, and the rest of the my family member would just come in and just enjoy the resort, and we would have the resort by ourselves for that entire weekend. But as I said before, in 2015, I wasn't even a travel advisor, so I knew nothing about getting married. So this was my first time trying to plan a destination wedding in a foreign country. So, when I was looking online, it was very limited to who you could find online. So when I searched destination wedding, the number one search that came up was destinationwedding.com. And I'm going to tell you, I did use them because I didn't know what I was doing. So I sent them an email. They responded to me. They found this resort, and I paid a deposit down on there. And that was me. And I started planning a year in advance because I know it was going to take a lot for me to plan this wedding and to give my guests enough time to attend. So I started, before February of the prior year to do my wedding. So I found this resort that I thought was perfect. It looked really good on paper. I mean, the pictures were beautiful. The rooms were beautiful. I'm saying that's where I'm going to have my wedding. So I did put a deposit down. But it was also my anniversary. So I booked a trip to Jamaica and I stayed at Sandals Ocho Rios. And that was my first time staying at a Sandals resort. So I stayed in Sandals Ocho Rios for my anniversary celebration. And we also made a reservation to see the resort. So to me, I always recommend, if you're going to do a destination wedding and you have the time, is to go and do a site inspection of the resort to make sure that it's really what you wanted. So the good thing is I was already in Jamaica. We had made a reservation to go see this resort that I thought was the perfect resort for my takeover for the weekend. So we drove from Ocho Rios to Negril, which is about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour ride, because where Ocho Rios is, it's in the middle. It's not really, it's on the other end, meaning that Montego Bay Airport is in the middle. Then we have Negril, which is an hour and a half away. And then we have Negril, which is an hour and a half away in the next direction. So imagine driving that far to go to the location. So when I got to the resort that I initially picked, the manager wasn't there. I had to wait for them to come. But even being, I had my cousin with me at the time, which was a good thing I did. We had to wait for the manager to come. When we looked, we do a little walk around in the resort. There's only like 3 or 4 people there. It was very kind of empty. We just wondering, why is it, we're in February, that's high season. The resort should be like hustling and bustling and, having more guests there. So when the manager finally came, they gave us a walkthrough of the different rooms. And I was very disappointed because when we got in certain rooms, either jacuzzi wasn't working, the air conditioner wasn't working. It wasn't up to par. And even when we got there, we weren't greeted. Like if I knew I have a client coming in to look at my resort, I want to make sure they have a welcome cocktail or just make sure that they're greeted nicely so they can see what to expect when they get there. So we didn't get any of that. And, we drove for almost 3 hours to get there. We were hungry. So we had lunch there because we wanted to taste the food also. And it was, to me, mediocre. And we also had to pay for it. So you think they would have said, all right, you're coming to the resort. I'll give you some food so you can at least sample of food. No, we had to pay for it. And the food wasn't up to par. And, we left there feeling a little bit disappointed. But I thought, I'll put my deposit down. I'm going to stay there. So on our way back from that particular resort, I was staying at Sandals Ocho Rios, as I said. There was a Sandals Royal Caribbean, which is in Montego Bay. So it was on our way back. And I remember making a reservation there to have dinner at their Thai restaurant, which is on a private island. The little 5-minute ride from the Sandals Resort to the island to have dinner. So the good thing about Sandals, if you're staying in one resort, you can play at all of them. So the fact that I didn't have to pay, I could just go make a reservation at that resort and go have dinner for my cousin who wasn't staying at the resort. We just did a day pass and he came with us. So we went to the Thai restaurant they had on a private island. And after we had dinner, the service was so great. They treated us so nice when we got there. After we had dinner, we're sitting by the fire pit. And my cousin said to me, Sandra, what are you doing? Look at this place. Look at the service you got once you got here. Why wouldn't you consider having your wedding here at Sandals? So that's how I end up picking Sandals for my destination wedding. So the next day, I had to call the wedding department of Royal Caribbean, ask them if the offshore island was available, and it was available for wedding, and it was definitely was available for my wedding date. And so we booked the wedding the next day. We booked Sandals for my wedding for Valentine's Day, and that's how I actually found Sandals Royal Caribbean. So it was really on my own, but it was through experiencing the resort that made me think that this was the best resort for me. So when I got back, I called the destinationwedding.com and they got my money back from the deposit I had on the other resort, and we booked Sandals, and that was it for me. So the wedding process at Sandals, I liked very much too, because once we secured the way Sandals work, if you're doing a wedding, you have to have a room booking along with the wedding. Meaning that if you pick a date and you want that date, you do your deposit for the wedding date, and then you have to book a room. So they have to be linked together. So when we picked Valentine's Day, I did pick a room category that I wanted, and that's how it was linked. So that's how Sandals work. You have to link the wedding with a room, and then you can either get a group code, which is every time someone book a room, they add this code to the booking, so you can have a group, so that will keep your group together. Or you can have a contracted group in which the couple would have to pay like 20%. If you want to say hold 15 rooms for your guests, you have to pay 15% of the cost of the room, which is to me a little bit much for couples to pay and be responsible for those. So I always would suggest doing a group code, and each guest would be responsible for booking their room and paying for it. And all the couple have to do is just make sure that the code is attached to each booking. So I found that very simple. And I also found just the wedding planning process pretty simple. Once I secured my wedding day, they gave me a Sandals wedding concierge. And, when we started meeting, we met every month. And every month they would go through, all right, the first thing we talked about was a ceremony. What do I want for my ceremony? We went through that. They added it to my cart. I could make payments as I go along. So each month we covered a different aspect of the wedding event itself. And I was able to add things, take away things. And at the end, my wedding was paid for. I felt comfortable that they had my vision. They executed it the way I wanted it. And it was just a beautiful day. When all my guests got to Sandals, they all, had welcome drinks for them. We had I had a all white dinner for my guests the night before the wedding. So that was really nice. We had a photographer that took pictures the day of the wedding. That was awesome. And then the next day I actually booked a catamaran cruise for all my guests, and that as a way of saying thank you for coming all this way to my wedding. So, every part of my wedding, there was some event that was planned. The staff at the Sandals Resort went overboard, I would say, because I have a lot of guests that was not staying at Sandals, and they came onto the property and they treated them so well that they would have said, why didn't we do this? But that was my experience with Sandals. And from then I've just been hooked with just being at a Sandals Resort. The thing I like most is how I'm treated when I get there. I love the amount of room category they have when you go there, and it's just not a single. It doesn't look like a regular hotel room. There's so many suite level you can pick. It all depends on what you want. Do you want a tub inside, a tub outside? Do you want to walk out to a swim out? Do you want to be over the water, like an overwater bungalow? So there are so many things that you can select at a Sandals Resort. So it's not a cookie cutter resort. So that was my experience, and I thought it was just the best experience I've ever had. So let me walk through a little bit of the slide that I have for you. So as I said before, I got married at Sandals Royal Caribbean. So that was me in my red and white. So, matching the Valentine's Day theme. And that was before I even became a travel agent, travel advisor, now a destination wedding specialist. Because once I did my wedding, I think I had the bug. Wedding was it for me. I just love doing wedding. I love seeing couples happy. I just seeing them saying I do, and just loving being in the Caribbean. Also, I think just having the wedding, having your family and friend around you for an entire weekend, that especially within an all-inclusive resort, which you don't have to be taking your wallet out and paying for this, everyone can just have more fun because everything is paid for. You just have to be there to enjoy the entertainment and being with their family. In 2017, I actually went to Sandals Grenada, and I just did a vow renewal, just me and my husband, because at that point, I wanted to be a wedding specialist. And the only way for you to learn and to understand the process is to actually do it yourself. So we just did a vow renewal in 2017 at Sandals Grenada, and it was just the same service with just the two of us, but I felt like a bride when I was there. I felt really good. And I'm actually going to be at Sandals Grenada end of March with a couple. We're doing a couples trip. So I do couples trip. So I'll be going to Sandals Grenada with 3 other couples, and I will definitely share that with you. So as I said, why should you get married at a Sandals or beaches resort? And one of the main reasons that I would say is their exotic location. Now, Sandals Resort is not a cookie cutter resort. They were founded in Jamaica. The owners are Jamaicans. So that's where you're going to find most of the Sandals Resort, and you're going to get that island feeling. So there's like 8 Sandals in Jamaica. So depending on what you want. And there is 2 beaches resorts. So if you're looking to have a family style wedding, there is a beaches in the Grill and a beaches in Ocho. So those are 2 choices. I think they're building another one in Dunn's River. So there might be a 3rd beach resort. It's not open yet, but that's coming. They have 3 resorts in St. Lucia. They're all Sandals resorts. So there's no family resort. And St. Lucia for me is like my second home. I love that place. I'm actually going to St. Lucia March 3rd. So I will be at one of the Sandals resort for a couple of days, and I will definitely share that with you. Sandals Antigua, which I've been, I love these resorts. I've been to Sandals Antigua. There's one, Grenada, which I'm going to end of March. Bahamas, I've been to. I've not been to the one in Exuma. There's 2 in Bahamas. Turks and Caicos, I've been to. I did a vow renewal in Turks and Caicos. And Turks and Caicos is a beaches resort. So that's a family resort. That's a big resort. That's one of their biggest resorts they have. And Carousel is a new resort that's opening in April. So, that is something new that's on the list. If you're looking to, do a destination wedding, a Sandals Carousel could be a good choice for you. And then we have Sandals Barbados. We have two. So there is no Sandals in Dominican Republic, or there is no Sandals in Mexico. So these are like, that's why I said they're more exotic locations. So they're not in the normal location where you'll find multiple resorts. So this is where they're scattered throughout the Caribbean. So you see Bahamas, Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada. So that's where you can find them. Reason why I like Sandals Resort, because it's luxury included. Like all the things you would need to have a perfect vacation is included at the Sandals Resort. And when you book a Sandals room, it comes with free round trip transfer. So each Sandals resort you book, any Sandals resort you book, it comes with transfer. You can always upgrade. Like when I went to St. Lucia, I actually upgraded to get a helicopter transfer, because the drive from the airport to Sandals Grand is an hour and change. So by me doing an helicopter transfer, it only took 20 minutes to get to Sandals. So that's a treat in itself. They're 5-star, so they're luxury and they're 5-star. So you're getting very good quality. They're always sitting on the best beaches. So in Jamaica, they're on the best beaches. In Antigua, so anywhere you're gonna have a really good beach experience at the Sandals Resort. If you're into scuba diving, if you're certified, you have unlimited scuba diving at the resort. If you're a golf lover, some of the resorts do have golf right on property, or they have of golf courses that you can use. They're unique suites that I talked about, because Sandals is not a cookie cutter. There's no two Sandals that look alike, and all the rooms are all different category depending on which Sandals you're in. So that's something to think about. If you're looking for a nice suite, a honeymoon suite, a millionaire suite, your own private pool or jacuzzi, a swim out suite. I mean, they have everything you can think of, and they have, I would say, the over the water bungalow that people die for. So if you're looking for that perfect honeymoon room, they have that for you. And gourmet dining, they have multiple restaurants in each of these resorts, at least six and above different food choices for you to choose from. So they're very good in their restaurant selection. So when you're there's multiple things that you can eat and choices you have when you're at the resort. And the thing I have on there is free wedding. They really do offer you a free wedding. So this is their over the water suites, and this I think is at Sandals Royal Caribbean. So when I got married, this wasn't built yet. So this is newer. This is built after I got married, and you have to go to the private island to actually get access to this particular over the water bungalow. So if you're looking to have your room on the water, this is one of the best choices I would say you can pick. And there are also new suites that they have. These swim out suites, they're like individual little bungalow, and then there's a shared like pool that goes along the various rooms. So it's like you have your own little private sanctuary, but there's a pool that joins all the rooms together. I think this is like a really pretty or romantic suite that you could pick. So why Sandals are beaches for your destination wedding. As I said, if you book 3 nights or longer, you could get a free wedding package. And a free wedding package includes your choice of location. Some locations come at additional price. Like if you wanted to use the over the water chapel, that's like a $700 fee for that. So most locations are all free. You can pick whichever one is available, but some will come at an additional cost. So you can get a free location. You get a bouquet, you get a boutonniere for the groom, you get chivalry chairs, you get pre-recorded music for your ceremony. For the reception, you get a wedding cake, you get a centerpiece for the head table, you get table setting of white linens on all the table, you get a cocktail reception with sparkling wine and hors d'oeuvres, and you get a signature cocktail. So this is all included in a free wedding, and there's no limit in the amount of persons you have there. So the more the merrier, but you're not going to be paying for each additional person, which is very good. So this is what a free wedding setup would look like. I'm not crazy to me about the the bouquet or the boutonniere. So that is something that I would say I would pay money to upgrade to a better bouquet and a boutonniere for yourself. But that's the Chiavari chair. And you know, the setup here is a little bit more upgraded because you have the hanging flowers and you have chair covers on the chair. So that is something you would have to pay additionally if you want your wedding to look like that. But the Chiavari chair right here without the decorations on it is what you would get for your wedding ceremony. And then for your reception, I said white tablecloth with white napkins with the table setting, and the Chiavari chair is what you would get for your reception. You would get a 2-tier wedding cake and you get a signature cocktail. So that's all included with all the guests you have for a free wedding. The longer you stay, the more benefits you get. If you stay 7 nights or longer, you get some other inclusions. And the more rooms you book, the more inclusions you get. You get, you know, I have a wedding here in October. For every 5 rooms, you get a comp room free. So it all depends on when you're booking and what their perks are and their offers. There's so many benefits of doing a wedding at Sandals Resort that, you know, you could come out not even paying a lot to have a wedding. Yes, what you will have to include with this is upgraded decor if you want that. There's no videography, there's no photography included. So if you need that for your wedding, those are additional costs you'd have to pay. But if you just want to get married and have a wedding and someone, one of your friends or whatever, take pictures, you can have a wedding at Sandals and it can be a very beautiful wedding. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. This is what I was talking about, the Overwater Chapel. There's one in Jamaica. I think there's 2 in Jamaica and there's one in St. Lucia. So this is upgraded. Obviously, the chairs with the flowers, those are upgraded decor. So if you want to do that, that's where you'd have to spend a little bit extra money. But to rent the Over the Water Chapel is around $750. And it can seat around 30 people. So there's limitations of how many people can actually be in the Overwater Chapel. But it's a beautiful setting if you always want to get married on the water. I've seen them in both locations and it's an absolutely beautiful place. If I was getting married again, I think that's where I would pick. And then you get to customize your wedding. So you can have the free wedding package, but if you want to, you want it to customize to match your vision, there is no limit in what you can get for your wedding. So this is just one of the setups that they offer. But as I said, this is customizable. You can put in and take out anything you want. It's a matter of what you want and what your budget is. This is another setup here on the beach. And as I said, the flowers and the cheer ties are going to be all additional decor that you'll have to pay for additional if you want it to look like this. This was my wedding in 2015. That's my daughter here helping me get dressed. And actually I had to change the dress. I don't have a red dress because it was a red theme. It was Valentine's Day. We were, they said it was the best day. It is still the best day of my life. That's my husband and I. And we're on their private island with a Thai restaurant at Sandals Royal Caribbean. And that's us getting married. These umbrellas and stuff, I actually made them myself and bring them there. So there is things you can do to enhance your wedding to make it yours by adding your own personal items to that. And you can actually bring personal items that you want to include in your wedding. So they allowed me, I made my umbrellas. I had them up at the altar and it just made my day. So that's something that I did and brought my own personal touch to my wedding. And also made a sign. So I had the sign, the picture I took, this picture I actually took at the resort that I didn't pick. I mean, the pictures look beautiful there. I just didn't like the resort. And I made Welcome to Our Island Wedding. And I had this put up there so people would know where my wedding was. But it's also a way of personalizing my wedding for me. So this is something that I did on my own. I brought it to Sandals. They were able to put it up for me. But that just made, this is my wedding. This was personalized for me. And that's us there, sipping champagne and just, saying happy 25th. And the bottom picture here is where we got married. This is a little private offshore island at Sandals Royal Caribbean. So we take a boat over to here and this red building we had our wedding. The dance floor was actually the dance floor of the restaurant because when we did my wedding, we actually closed down the island because I was able to pay for that. So we closed it down so there's no other guests on the island but us. So we were able to have a private, loud, fun wedding. And as I said, people are still talking about it because it was so much fun. So that is my spiel on Sandals. If anyone has any questions about getting married at Sandals or what the process is, please reach out to me. If you're getting married and you need help planning, you can also reach out to me. I love planning weddings, and especially if you want a Sandals wedding, I am there. But if you need help, schedule a free consultation with me, or send information at info@eventual.com, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. So that's all I have. I have my red on here because later on we're going to have dinner. As I said, today's my anniversary and it's Valentine's Day. And I just want to come on here and say happy Valentine's Day to you all and hope you have a very good Valentine. Bye.